from Pine and Ruby Ridge, back from Shays to Feed, but up to Concerson, now KPS, Brahita, Duhets, and Commissars, and John of the Thieves, Tommy fucking heretics, the nail that sticks up, gets hammered down, with masters, finest tools are found, slack jawed, placid, amidst the cacophony of screaming billboards and Disney-fied history. Sometimes the ties that bind us strain. No justice shines upon the cemetery box marked Hampton Weaver or Animal Wear. Federal bureaus and fraternal orders have cast their shadows. Permanent features built into these borders. But under cover of the customary gap we find between history and truth, founding fathers bask in the rocket's blinding red glare, bombs bursting in air, one nation indivisible. It is that backstretching learner of ratification, the people had a coffin painted black, suddenly born in unital procession, they buried deep in the earth as an emblem of the disillusion, internment of their public liberties. And someday, somewhere, today's empire, tomorrow's ashes.
Hey everybody, it's Paul Hodgert here, friend of the pod, I guess, and I'm here to speak with the vocalist on the cover for this episode. He is a 5th grade student, he's 10 years old, lover of video games, punk rock, and also my son. He's known online sometimes in video game circles as Husker Lou. Here he is, Lewis Hodgert. How's it going, Lou?
Good, how about you?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. So, my first question is, how did you enjoy hearing yourself on a full band cover of one of your favorite songs?
Honestly, first of all, I was kind of like, what? Like, when I realized that actually, like, happened a bit, and it was, like, super awesome.
That's amazing. So, yeah, this would have been the first time you've ever heard other than, of course, you did a cover of Rio de San Atlanta, but that was just you over an acoustic guitar, so that wasn't quite as much. This is a full band. So could you list for me, where does Today's Empires land in your list of favorite Propagandhi songs?
Probably like number 1 in the top 3.
Okay, well what are some of your other favorites?
Let's see, Fuck the Border.
Yeah, of course.
What else?
Oh, Failed Imagineer, I think, is on that list.
Yeah, and Back to the Motor League.
Sure, all great ones.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, you play a little bit of music yourself. You're not quite on doing guitar, bass, or drums yet, but you are taking piano. How are you enjoying learning piano?
It's fun to learn it, but not to practice it.
That is very true. And I've probably set a horrible example because you don't ever really hear me practicing music at all. Now, what is it that you really like about Propagandhi? Is there anything in particular that sticks out to you?
I like how even though they're some of the only bands that that like we agree fully agree with a lot of stuff about.
Oh, you mean all their their opinions and politics and things and social issues?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
It's true. That's very important. What are some other bands you like?
Let's see. I like Descendants.
Sure.
Clash.
Yeah.
What else? Buck 65.
Oh, yeah. Good time.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're closing in on the 3-minute mark, and I told you we'd keep this under 5 minutes. So is there anything else you want to say before we shut this off?
This has been a great thing. It's been great.
Awesome. Oh, also, there's one other person in the room with us, and that is Peggy Hodgert. She just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that. So hopefully this will get thrown back to Greg or to Steve, maybe, or who knows, maybe even back to me on another recording. All right, well, Lewis, is there anything you want to plug? Do you have any projects coming up or anything? Do you have any any books or films or TV shows that you're in that are coming up? Because that's usually how podcast ends, with the guests plugging their newest projects. Do you have anything coming up?
Well, there's a spring concert at my school.
That's right, the spring concert at Lewis's school.
I'm playing to be a person in the play.
Oh, that's right. He's auditioning for the play, so we'll plug that a little bit closer to it. All right. Thank you so much for coming down here, Lewis. It's been a pleasure.
Au revoir.
Bye.
Sometimes the ties that bind us stray. No justice shines upon the cemetery box marked Hampton Weaver or Anna Ware. Federal bureaus and fraternal orders.
The tangled web we weave runs from Winnipeg to Chicago to York, Ontario. It's Paul Hodgert here, filling in for Mr. Greg Soden and Mr. Steve Foster. And I'm here with Stephen Iarusci. Oh, I screwed it up anyway. Iarusci and Matt Milkowski. And the three of us got together along with another real joker named Louis Hodgert, my son. And we recorded the cover you've probably just heard of today's Empires, Tomorrow's Ashes. And Greg asked us to sit down and chat about how we did that. So first I'm going to say, hey, fellas, welcome here.
Thanks.
What up, what up, what up?
It's a pleasure. Our first official digital meeting since we've never met in person.
I know, the band got together before conversation ever happened.
It's true. We recorded the song. I had met my son. I'm going to say that flat out. My son and I have met. And I met Stephen very briefly. He did me a huge solid when I was in Toronto last. But none of us have met Matt. And I certainly hope that Stephen has not met my son. Because that would be weird if he has and I didn't know about it.
That would be odd. I don't know. Matt, were you around for the Guelph show?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, then we have met. We have met.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I drove there with my buddy Diego. I
I remember Diego as well.
36 hours and then came back to the States.
Okay, so that makes me happy that it's not like there's one person nobody has met.
Correct.
Yeah,
So
in a way,
that is
never all three in the same room,
or all
but together separately, and all four. Yes, that is true.
Yes. Don't forget, there's a little tiny weirdo vocalist on this.
This is true.
Okay, so this whole thing came from my idea because actually no, it came from my son's idea. My son Louis, he loves the whole album Today's Empires. Like, he loves that album. He especially loves the title track, "Fuck the Border," and "Back to the Motor League." And you know what? Me too. Those are like, I do not know how that record starts with 4 bangers in a row. Like, how are the first 4 tracks just like continually escalating? I don't get it. Anyway, and he wanted to do a cover, and I honestly did not feel like doing all of the music. So I reached out to a few folks to say, hey, who wants to play on a cover of this with a 10-year-old boy singing? And Matt was the first one to jump in with a yes. Matt was in immediately. And then we got Steven involved, laying down a hell of a bass track. So why don't we go through what we did in our respective things? So I'll start with you, Matt. What did we do here?
Yeah, so I was super excited. I was like, "Ooh, you need a mediocre guitar take? I can do that." And ran down to my basement studio, uh, fired up the rectifier, and spent one fine night trying to get both tracks. I sort of knew the roots of the song, but some of the like weird arpeggiated stuff I had to kind of go back and listen to. So it took me, a little bit of time to tinker with that, but then yeah, just went to town on left and right and sent them your way. It was a ton of fun. And I didn't really know that like Lewis was sort of the brainchild of this operation. I wasn't sure if you sort of foisted the responsibility upon him, but that's awesome that he was, kind of behind it all. That's great.
Yeah, he was behind. He was his idea just because this is like this and Failed Imagineer are probably his two favorite propaganda songs.
Nice.
Like, and that one though, to hear him really love the song about the father and son dynamic is real. Oh, heartstrings for me.
Right.
Although I did not come back from any wars damaged and violent
Right.
yet. Who knows? It's 2025. Who knows what tomorrow could
Oh, we might have to fight Matt on the battlefield
Exactly,
if this is the
Exactly.
case. So, we'll see.
I'll be like the traitor spy if you all want for a low price.
Oh, there are so many people who would do that for us at this point, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Our entire Discord is full of absolute turncoats to the American Empire.
I'm actually, I suppose I should take one step back. The three of us met on the Unscripted Moments Discord. This
Yes.
wonderful community of like fun debate and all that, but mostly of like support and uplifting and caring about people, which is not a common thing to find on the internet. So it's really nice to have a community of uplifting and care and support where we're all looking out for each other.
It's the community has grown much like a mushroom, sequestered from the rest of the world in a dark place where no one else can see it. But it bloomed into something very fruitful.
That was beautiful, man.
You know what? Roll off the cuff, baby. That's how it is with me.
Beauty. Love it. Okay. So, so Matt, you recorded those guitars, and I just want to point out that rectifier you're using is one of like the absolute earliest possible rectifiers one could find.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact serial number, but I know I sent it to you. But
Yeah, it's like the first couple weeks of them existing. Like it's
yeah,
really
exactly.
early.
There's some handwritten notes on there. So I'm not like a huge gearhead, but this is the one piece of gear that I have no need for. I've got a giant 4x4 underneath it, but I just can't get rid of it because it's so old and special. The pots are dirty and it's kind of crackly, but I got it used for, I don't know, when I was probably 15. I've been using it ever since.
And I bet if you were to go sell it today, you would turn quite a tidy profit on a first couple weeks of production dual rectifier in 2025.
Yeah,
Those
I'm
things
sure.
are probably pretty valuable. That's the word, not expensive. Pretty valuable these days. And you played along to a drum track I sent you.
Yeah. You sent some like pre-programmed MIDI drums, I think, which sounded really good actually.
Yeah, I cheated completely on my part, but I'll get to that in a moment.
But yeah, capture the swing nicely. So yeah, I had that and a click track going. At the time the bass and the vocals weren't there, so I just did my best to follow the rhythm of the drums and sent it your way.
Yeah, I'm just gonna back up. I programmed those drums painstakingly, hit by hit, by which I mean somebody sent me the guitar profile from the Sheet Happens books. I converted it to a MIDI, dumped it into Pro Tools, and put one of the better sounding drum modules on top of it, and then did nothing. That was it. It was just drop, drop, drop. My part was done. By far the easiest part of it.
I bet if you ask Jord, he would say that's the exact amount of effort he put in on the track originally. I'm sure.
So then after we had that, I sent those off to our good friend Steven up here. I say up because you're on the top left of my screen, so I guess to me.
Yeah, I am also on the top left. It actually, if you look at it, it's very much the map of where we are. Winnipeg, Chicago. Yeah, it's not far off. Anyways, so yeah, I just showed up one night after kind of showing up a little bit late from work or whatever I was doing, to a message from Paul saying, "Can you rip a bass track real quick?" And I said, "Hell yeah, what song?" And you said Today's Empires. And yeah, I grabbed my bass and ripped it out right quick for you. It was done within the hour. So yeah, it was pretty simple.
To me within the hour of my first request, which was insane.
Yeah. I've listened to the song enough, so just
Fair.
as long as I knew where the hand had to go after that, it was pretty easy to me. It's not like it's some like crazy tech song like other songs I've done, specifically Night Letters. That song took a lot more time, but in the end, it was a fast ripper. I say fast, but we are playing 10 BPM slower. So I did fall asleep while I was tracking, but
You're welcome for that. That was my
I know.
I couldn't possibly program the drums that fast. So
I know it's true. It's true. That being said, I think everything turned out absolutely ripping. It was great.
Awesome. Now, I just want to know how sort of like we all are obviously fans of this band and this song. I just want to know, like, I'll start with you, Stephen. What's sort of your take on the song? Like, where does it exist within your sort of like fandom and world and life?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great song. I think it's one of the best ones on Today's Empires, though that ebbs and flows for me. I got into prop with their newer stuff, specifically supporting cast, and I kind of had to work my way backwards. So when I hit Today's Empires, and found out that's kind of where they really started speeding up everything, my mind just was blown. I love fast music. I love it when it's fast. I love it when it's aggressive, and that's what Today's Empires as an album is. And yeah, I think the song is fantastic. I think it's like a very good thesis statement for the whole album. Just kind of talking about, all the ways that power structures kind of can affect everyday people from all walks of life, even incredibly regrettable walks of life, and what that means specifically. To what level of absolute power do they have? Which, as we know from that kind of run of examples, Hampton, Weaver, Anime, it could be an absolute power over you. And, we're seeing that. We see that every day, but especially nowadays, it is forever poignant. And that is how I feel about that song.
Fair. I mean, yeah, I'm on the same page with you there. My spouse, the day after, I think it would have been November 5th, 2024 or something like that, or the 6th, in their classroom at the school where they teach, put on their like reader board, Today's Empires, Tomorrow's Ashes, because it's just like, what else are we gonna do but sort of acknowledge that's where we're all heading and just sort of press onward, continue to try to make the world a better place, because empires come and go.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, where does that song sort of exist in your world?
This one dates back a little further for me. The first time I saw Propaganda was on the tour for this album.
Right.
And yeah, I know they started that show with Fuck the Border, and this song came on maybe 4th or 5th, pretty early on. And it was my favorite at the time, maybe Karina Hall of Fame, a close second. But, for me, I think the lyrics also hit home. I mean, you mentioned the Hampton Weaver Anime. I'm from Chicago. I currently live like an 8-minute drive from where Fred Hampton was killed. And, I grew up, my dad, he taught a history of Chicago class, was just like a big Southside Chicago steelworker union guy until he became a history teacher. And so I grew up, learning a lot about the Black Panthers and Fred Hampton. I actually found this artifact that only you two will see, since this is audio format, but this was my sketchbook when I was 12. This is a Fred Hampton portrait.
That is fucking awesome.
That is dope.
I told Greg, I was like, I think I have a bunch of stuff from that era. And, so he was someone that was on my mind at a really early age. And so, I had already been into Propaganda before this album came out, but when I heard that name, it was it's really important to me then. And, my route home from work, I drive by that same spot. There's a huge mural up there now that just got redone a couple of years ago. So this song sort of feels like, that connection to what the FBI and the Chicago cops did, just kind of, for better, for worse, has been following me. And it kind of feels like this song has sort of been there for that journey. So yeah, definitely an important one for me, just as a Chicagoan.
Well, your connection to it is definitely a bit more visceral and personal than mine, or Steven's for that matter. My sort of story is that, like, growing up in Winnipeg, I don't remember a time before I was familiar with Propagandhi. Like, I live in a neighborhood where they had a jam space for a while. I was seeing posters for punk shows that had their name on it for as long as I can remember. So like I got into them for today's for Less Talk More Rock, and then where Quantity is job one. That one came out when I was 14. So those are the ones I was just mainlining. And then when the album Today's Empires came out, I didn't like it. I was just like, you know what? No, this doesn't sound like Fat Records or Epitaph. Therefore, it is bad. Now, I think a big piece of that was the production, which honestly, I'm not wrong about. The original mix of that album sounds so weird compared to anything else from that period, or the remix, and the remix sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Now, Today's Empires is like probably my second favorite Propagandhi record.
Hmm.
And I just think that Today's Empires, the song, is so weirdly such a perfect little pop song. It's your blues chords. It's your 1-4-5. There's nothing weird about it structurally or chord wise, except that in a classic Propagandhi way, there's no chorus. It's for the most part through composed, although the 1-4-5, I guess the EBA section does return towards the end. But like, it's basically a pop song. You can get rid of all of the speed and all of the aggression, and it could just be another pop rock song that anybody could play, or a folk song even. And I think that sort of adds to what sort of makes it sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? That sort of adds to the poignancy of it, in that, in a lot of ways, it is a protest folk song. Just played by three incredible players with all of the aggression and momentum they could muster for that record. So that's sort of where I come from on it, which I think it is a little bit different from you guys just because of my weird time and placeness of it. But man, do I love that song now. That whole record.
Did you not like that song when it came out? Because I feel like of all of them, like you said, that is like the poppiest, maybe the closest to the previous stuff.
The first one I heard was Back to the Motor League, because that was the one that was on like a comp, or like the downloadable one. And I was like, this is okay, I guess. And then I put it on and I hear Mateka and Fuck the Border. And I'm like, what is this? By the time I get to that one, yeah, that song was like, this sounds a bit more normal, except it didn't have the same sort of like epitaph bounce to it. It still feels very sort of like driving in a different way. It has its own sort of like swing to it. And that's the thing about Jord I always find so interesting, is Jord can play the fastest parts, but he still has some swing to it somehow, which that's so rare in like punk and metal and hardcore, is to have people who can still have swing. Like a lot of Jord's single stroke fills feel like he's accelerating through them, but they're still perfectly on beat somehow. Like, I don't even know how to explain that. Like, it's just this weird sort of swing to them. But they didn't have that like Eric Sandin, Dave Ron, Lagwagon, No Effects sound to them. So even though this was the poppiest one, I was still like, nope, this is not what I like. I'm that guy. It music falls.
Wait, this is slightly different than my taste. Oh, thank you.
How dare they change?
it is the slightest bit different from all of this other stuff, therefore it's bad. You know, like a true punk would say. You know, punks known for being open-minded about music.
Exactly.
Big time, of course.
So I got to ask, can you tell us a little more? I know am I correct? You're going to talk to Lewis separately. Is that right?
I am, yeah. I figured let's not have him be ambushed by a bunch of old dudes who he doesn't know.
So since he'll be talking then, I guess I'm just curious, like, I'm assuming you were there when he was recording. I'm assuming you were helping.
I engineered him, yes.
Yes, right. I mean, I don't know if you all have done other projects together, but like, what was that like seeing your child sing this song?
It was really interesting. We did 2 different goes at it. The first one, I was a little bit too, I'm in the studio with a trained singer who's been doing this for a long time. Like, start, stop, you're flat, you're sharp. It's like, oh no, you know what? He's 10. He's my son. I forgot that, you know, you got to sort of treat that a little bit more loosey-goosey. And then the second time, he did a full take through and then punched in one part. Because I was like,
Nice.
you know what? It doesn't have to be perfectly timed. It doesn't have to be perfectly on pitch. He's 10. What's wrong with me? Like, come on. No, he's 10.
And it's rock and roll, baby. Who
Exactly.
cares? Like,
I was going on like my big time like engineer producer guy thing, which is like, no, this is a fun project for my son to sing a punk song with 2 of my friends to go on my other friend's podcast. This is not that important. This isn't going on wax. So but
Never
like,
say never. Yeah.
but like just from the perspective, it was just so interesting to like, oh yeah, my son knows all the words to this song. And we definitely had a nice conversation about what it was about beforehand, which was really cool because we're doing our best to raise our kids to sort of be, you know, loving and caring about all people and sort of trying to point out injustices in the world, which, not that I wasn't taught to do that, but like our generation weren't explicitly explained as many things like that as that we could have been, the way that we want to be teaching our kids.
Right.
He did change one word, because before we even talked about it, he's like, I'm not saying the F slur in a song. I'm like, dude, I'm glad you're not, because I was going to have to bring that up once we got to it. So we changed the F slur to just be the word fucking. But it's one of those things, like, I was just really proud of him to be the one who's like, I'm not saying that. That's not a word I'm ever going to say in my life. And be saying, awesome. Because when I was a young piece of shit, I definitely said it way too many times. It was the 90s. It was what we did. Not that that's a good excuse, but it's a different, much shittier culture.
Yeah, I'm sure Chris would be happy about that change too.
Yeah, exactly. There's a handful of words that I'm sure he would like to have back of that.
oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Do we even know? Like, I don't know. Like, I haven't really paid attention. I don't even know how many times I've seen them perform this song live, but like, does he change? He must surely change it when he sings
no
it
way
live.
He sings it. Yeah.
No, there's no way.
Recall either, but I'd be shocked.
Yeah, considering all the other words that he's, you know, lamented in other songs, he's like, you know what, probably just not gonna do it, right?
Yeah. That being said, I wonder if Jello Biafra still says the N-word when he does Holiday in Cambodia.
That's for the podcast about the dead Kennedys.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Oh, I said that's for the podcast about the dead Kennedys to find out.
That always crosses my mind because Jello he's still got big boomer energy, so I still feel like there's a chance he uses it, but I don't know. I wouldn't, but I don't know.
I put it in with purpose, so it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's sort of a weird, and I say that as somebody who loves Jello and loves dead Kennedys, but it still definitely has that energy.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys wanted to go over on this? We're at a tight 20-ish minutes, so that's probably more than enough for 3 people that nobody who's listening to this has ever really heard of.
I guess I'll comment on one thing that I forgot to mention earlier when you were talking to me about the tracking process, is that the bass that I used was a Rickenbacker bass, which is only relevant in the sense that during the Victory Lap recording, I know that Chris tried to foist a Rickenbacker on Todd to kind of change up the sound. So, if anyone's wondering what that might have been like,
Nice.
this is the closest you're going to get as far as I know, and I did it on purpose.
Awesome. I'm going to say that definitely would have increased the treble response on Victory Lap, and maybe some of Todd's parts might have cut through a little bit better, but who's to say? Who's to say?
As long as we can hear the end of Failed Imagineer, that bridge, that's all I
Oh,
want.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, it might have, Rickenbacker might have even been too much on that song.
Yeah.
How about you, Matt? You got anything?
No, I'm good. I think our web is relatively tangled at this point. I think I was just I guess I want to thank, your whole family for setting this up. It's really cool. My kids are a little younger. I haven't been able to collab with them like this, but it was a lot of fun. And I think when you first sent this to me, I just wrote back. I was like, I cried, and it's true. And I like one thing I've noted. I'm 41. The last 5 or 6 years, I just don't cry anymore, and I don't quite know why. Like maybe like a really good commercial, like a tearjerker commercial or something. But for things that really matter to me, it just hasn't been like a normal form of expression. But I was listening in the car, and again, hearing that line that we talked about earlier, Hampton Weaver anime, just coming, from a young voice, was kind of what I needed for the week. It was definitely a rough week, just what was happening globally and locally for me. And it really brightened my day. I'm always trying to fight pessimism, probably like everyone in our Discord. And it helped, it was legit therapy for me. So props to your son for helping someone out across the country.
I will let him know. And I actually one thing that was really exciting is I got to teach him about Fred Hampton and like all of these stories that are of these events and people that are mentioned in the song, which was also pretty cool. But I'm so glad that sort of touched you in a nice way. That's the beautiful thing about music. I also find that I can't cry much anymore. For me, it's now just when I watch beautiful moments of vintage pro wrestling. When the storyline comes together just so. That's when it gets me now. That's it.
Steve, what's your tier output these days?
Woof. Wow. I wake up. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I mean, the tearjerkers nowadays, a good song with good feeling, not unlike this one. When this one came through, when Paul sent us the initial mix, it was the same thing, like another tearjerker for me. And yeah, that's where it really goes. When Mufasa dies in The Lion King, like we don't like a monarchy, but Mufasa dying in The Lion King is brutal. What are we supposed to do? Not cry?
Do you feel the same thing when Hamlet's father dies in Hamlet?
Do you even see that happen in the play?
No.
Exactly. So I don't cry for Hamlet's.
Fair enough. That's a good point. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention is Lewis has the greatest online nickname, like his online handle is Husker Lou.
That's great.
And that's Lou spelled L-U with the umlaut.
Wow. A chip off the old block.
I was like, yeah, like it's like almost unfair that he gets that and not me. Because from my love of Husker Du. But anyway, I thought you guys would appreciate Husker Lou was on vocals.
That's a stage name now. That's it.
It should be, right? It's too good not to. All right, anyway, fellas, I think we should call this a night. Stephen, Matthew, it has been my pleasure and my honor to work on this song with you. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Peace out.
See you.